James and Jazz here, bringing you another physically fit video, and we decided to do something a little bit different today. As you can see, we're sitting, not our normal, we're in workout gear, but just not our normal stuff.
We transformed our set a bit.
That's right, transformed it a little bit, wanted to make it relaxing sitting, and we're going to be talking a little bit about health and diet and nutrition tips. I wasn't exactly sure what to call it, but I planned a couple of videos that are coming up, which one's on fitness tips, so I've separated it from health, diet, nutrition tips to fitness tips. We're going to be talking more about weight training and cardio and things like that. And then another video that I wanted to separate as well is supplementation advice. So we might talk just a touch about supplementation advice in this video, but we will have a supplement video coming up soon where I'll talk to you more about branched chain amino acids and glutamine and creatine and protein powders and things like that. So.
And by no means are we certified nutrition experts either.
Yeah, exactly.
But we do have lots of experience, as I grew up in the modeling world and was involved with pageants and competed at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA. And James was obviously one of the top fitness models, appeared on over 60 magazine covers.
Fitness magazine covers,
yes.
Yeah. World champion, WBFF, World Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation world champion in 2011.
So we're not in the dark about nutrition either.
Yeah. had a few years with all of it. So yeah, we just wanted to lay out some great fitness advice. We've done tons of workout videos, things like that. So this is just this week and probably the next 2 weeks are going to be kind of sit down. Let's give you some advice. You can take some notes on your own and maybe switch some things up with your diet and training routine, or with your supplementation. You might decide you want to add some things after you learn a little bit about that in future videos. So today, again, focus on health, diet, and nutrition tips. So my first tip actually is drink plenty of water.
Oh, wow.
Now, this isn't coffee, y'all. It isn't a coffee cup, but that is water. So big thing, drink lots of water. Okay. First of all, if you're trying to lose fat, if you want to lose weight, you find that you eat too much. Maybe when you sit down, it's like you load that plate up and you eat every bite, you finish your food. I tend to be a person that takes a to-go box home with me when I go out to eat. So big reason for that is if you're trying to lose weight, drink plenty of water before your meal. Like as soon as they bring that water, make sure you get a thing of water and say, I'll have a big water, and drink a lot of water before your meal, because it will give you this sense of fullness because your stomach is starting to fill with water. So that's a great tip. And you also drink plenty of fluids, plenty of water during your meal as well. So before and during your meal. Another big tip as well is add lemon to your water. I don't necessarily like dropping the lemon in there because I don't know how clean that is when they bring them out at the restaurants, but squeezing that lemon juice into the water is also a great appetite suppressant. So that's something good that you can try. And this stuff isn't necessarily my bag because I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to get bigger. So I actually do the opposite. I don't want to drink a lot of water before my meals because I'm trying to take more calories in. If you're a person that's trying to not have as many calories.
Often, ladies.
Yeah, then I highly suggest drink plenty of water before and during your meals. And that's going to help you a lot. And then, of course, lemon water is helpful as well. So those are my...
It's not even just drinking it once you get to the table at the restaurant. You can have a water bottle in your car as you're driving to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. So water is huge. I'm a huge water fan. Mm-hmm. Anyone who knows me knows that.
No shame in the game of taking a to-go box home, y'all.
No.
So.
And since I grew up young in the modeling industry, I learned about filling up on water before your meal comes, because obviously as a female, lots of times you aren't trying to consume as many calories as the male. So these are just practical tips that you can implement into your lifestyle for nutrition that are really going to give you big results that maybe you've never thought of or tried before. And you're like, if I would have just done this, I would have lost 5 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What's one of the number one things that people think of when they think about diet? With your next tip that you were going to talk about, I remember you saying, which I've heard a lot too, being in the game. So
yes, and I wanted to throw this in very early, especially to all my ladies out there. You think, oh, I want to drop 5 pounds, or I want to get in shape. I'm just going to cut all food out of my diet.
Starvation.
No, no starvation here. We are not anorexic. We are not bulimic. You guys, we have to treat our bodies healthily. You are not going to get nutritionally sound results if you are starving your body and depriving it of fuel to run off of. You are not going to get good workouts in the gym either if you are tired and lethargic because you're not giving your body any energy to thrive off of.
Yeah.
So I
might lose your job because you're falling asleep at the desk because you don't have any fuel.
So I really wanted to hammer this home, like, don't starve yourself. That is not nutrition advice. That is not the route you want to go, and we will talk about later on in the video more of what you should be doing. But I'm also not a fan of fasting. I know a lot of people out there are, but your body thrives off of consistency, high metabolism, grazing, and when you deprive your body of food for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end, your body is going to go into self-preservation mode, and it won't burn any of your stored energy or your stored fat because it'll think that you're not getting any nutrition or supplements or vitamins coming in. Therefore, it's not going to burn any of your stored fat that you'd like to get rid of. So that's how it's going to backfire on you. And I've never understood the logic of people that are fasting trying to lose weight. I'm like, that completely backfires on you. So there may be some nutrition advice out there, but when I would try to fast, my body always went backwards. So I'm just giving you advice on what I've found to work for me. Maybe you're different, but in general, I don't think that starving yourself or long periods of fasting are going to give you the best results. Yeah.
So going back to the dinner table, you're out to eat, and what do we think about eating? Do we, like, we're not in prison, right? Is there any rush to eat? In prison, they have like only a certain amount of time to eat their food. So as soon as it gets there, they're chowing it down. I had a buddy that was actually in prison, and he mastered the art of eating fast. One, because he didn't have very much time, and two, because some bully might just come up and take your food. So you were going to talk a little bit on that.
Well, I learned this in a different way because I have a younger brother who's 1 year younger than me, and he's a human vacuum.
He's a big dude.
You've got a plate of food in front of him, and it's gone within 30 seconds. Yeah. I don't know. He looks at food and it vanishes. No, I'm kidding, but he eats very fast. Yeah. And so I also, since I had a modeling background and started modeling at 9 years old, as I'd hear the older teenage models at the time talking about their diet and nutrition, they would continually give the advice to eat slowly. This is primarily for my ladies out there that will want to implement this, but why you do that is because generally it takes your brain about 20 minutes to signal that you are full. So whether you eat a massive heaping portion of food in 20 minutes or you eat slowly in 20 minutes and you won't eat as much, your body's still going to take 20 minutes to say that it's full. Yeah. So if you chew slowly, if you maybe put your fork down between bites, if you take a sip of water between bites, that will slow the process down. Yeah. You will be amazed at it really is about 20 minutes if you time it. You're like, oh, I'm really starting to get full. Yeah. Now you have to listen to your body because there are people that do not listen to those signals and they will keep shoving food down their throat just because they don't want to waste food. But then you can also get that to backfire on you when you've got a huge stomach. Just because you don't want to waste food, just save it for later. But yes, eat slowly. That will truly help you. And I guarantee you will shed pounds if you just implement this into your diet.
Yeah, so on that eating slowly, it's the idea of chewing your food up very well and before you swallow it. I had watched a video, and I apologize that I don't know the details of all this, but it was a nutrition doctor that talked about the importance of chewing everything up as small as you can before swallowing it, because there's bad bacteria and things in the stomach that will feed off of food that you haven't chewed up well, that's going to take longer to digest because your body's going to take longer to break it down. So it's bad bacteria and things in the body that feed off of that because they have more time to feed off of that. You want that bacteria to die out and starve. So the bad bacteria, or whatever it was, I don't know if he called it bacteria, but whatever it was in the body that shouldn't be there, that it feeds off of this stuff that you don't eat, that you don't chew up well. And your body takes longer as a result to digest it. So have a conversation, like she said, between bites, set your fork down. Have a conversation, enjoy conversation, not with your mouth full, but chew up that food and have a little bit of conversation before you take that next bite. Cut things up nice and small and just enjoy conversation. There's no rush to be the first one done at the meal table. So on the flip side, however, eating fast, I tend to eat a little faster because I have different goals. I'm not trying to lose body fat. I'm trying to gain mass, and I tend to not take enough calories in the day, so I do eat a little faster. Her brother eats a little faster. He's trying to bulk. He's trying to put on size. So he eats faster, so you can see if you're trying to lose fat, eat slower, chew slowly. The stomach will signal the brain, hey, we're full, and you haven't eaten nearly as much as me or her brother Gunnar, who ate and got as much in our system as we could before our body said full and triggered the brain and we didn't eat anymore. So I would be able to take a little bit more calories down. So I might have a little bit less conversation when the food comes. I'm a little bit more quiet because I'm sitting there cutting it up, and I chewed up pretty well, but I'm just eating a little faster because I want to take in more calories. So I wanted to get the flip side of that for you men that are trying to bulk and put on size.
That's why it's cool to have both of us here to give you input.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we want to go into a little bit of talk on meal prep. I know you wanted to talk about that. We've both experienced a lot with meal prep and that kind of dieting. So
Right. I'll let him talk about it for the majority of it. I did a lot of meal prepping though while I was preparing for the Miss USA pageant, and I highly recommend it. I used Eat Fit Go meals, and they were so convenient. It was amazing just to have a healthy, prepared meal sitting in my fridge, done. That way I wouldn't do a drive-through for fast food because I'm hungry, need food now. It's like, no, if I'm hungry and I need food now, I can go to my fridge and there's a meal that just needs heated up. And it's good. And so I did a lot of that, which really fueled me for great workouts. I highly recommend them. But meal prepping also has been relevant in our marriage. And I make what's called like protein balls, and I can also cut up fruit. And I am so guilty of this. If I don't put in effort and make healthy snacks, like prepare protein balls or cut up the fruit, if I don't do that ahead of time, when I'm hungry, I'm not gonna just go to the kitchen and start cutting up fruit.
Potato chips.
Or, I'm gonna grab something easy, and that's a downfall. Because when you're tired and you're hungry, you don't wanna put in all the work. That's why you have to be intentional about it and do it ahead of time.
That's good. And when I trained for the World Championship, my diet, early on in my diet, I didn't even diet very long, honestly, because I tend to maintain a low body fat percentage. My full-time job was fitness modeling and acting, so I could get a call the day before asking to shoot a fitness magazine cover the next day.
You have to be in shape.
and they knew, the photographers and the magazines knew to call me because they knew that I didn't have an off season. I was lean all the time because I didn't want to miss the opportunity to get a fitness magazine cover the next day. And that happened multiple times. Hey, the guy that was going to be on the cover of our magazine showed up and he's not in as good a shape as we wanted. Can you come in tomorrow and shoot the cover? Like that happened multiple times, and they knew I was ready to go. I was in shape, low body fat all the time. I sat around in between 4 and 6% body fat
now,
all year
ladies,
long.
you need higher percentage of body
I'm
fat.
talking for me.
Yeah.
And when I competed in the world championship, I was probably 3% body fat. So my meal prep was super important. In the beginning, I actually had a restaurant sponsor named Sharky's. You might be familiar with Sharky's. It's in LA, the Los Angeles area. And they made really healthy foods, and they sponsored me early on. And then it was, for me, I knew how strict I needed to get, how I needed to cut sodium, and how the food I was eating was far more important that I not have sodium on it. Like, I was boiling chicken breast, and it got really strict where I didn't want to have the additives in my food. So then I had to prep on my own. I didn't use a meal prep company at that time. I cooked all my own food because I knew what was there. I knew the exact amount. I was weighing everything, so I knew exactly what my macros were. I did a macros diet where I needed to know I had a certain amount of protein, grams of protein I had to put in, grams of carbs, grams of fat that I was allowed to put in and was supposed to put in per day. So I needed to make sure everything was weighed, measured, ready to go. So I cooked all my own stuff, which was super important to me, but also a meal prep company. When I wasn't competing for the Worlds, I loved going to Icon Meals. They shipped at the time, this has been a long time ago, but they were shipping everything out of Texas, and they could get it to LA like within no time. So they would put the, freeze?
Like dry ice?
Dry ice, they would put the dry ice in there, and it was awesome. It would show up, and I would fill up the freezer with what I didn't think I was gonna eat for a while, because I ordered a lot of food. And then I would put in the fridge what I thought I would eat sooner. So it was great to have that. That was great meal prep. And then if I had a day where I was going to be on the set for an acting thing, a long day the next day, or a modeling shoot, or whatever it was, I had my 6-pack bag. I would load those meals into it, put the ice things in the side that came with the bag. I was good to go. I didn't have to worry about meals. When we got a lunch break, I didn't have to go to any place to get something fast or whatever. It was awesome. So meal prep, super important.
Adding on to that, Icon Meals has great protein popcorn if you want something that will satisfy your sweet tooth. It's so good. But also, like, for practical everyday life, my brother has big dreams and goals to do bodybuilding, and so he is very intentional about meal prepping while he's at work all day long. He will pack rice, he'll pack chicken, he'll pack healthy options, and his coworkers on their breaks would be going to the vending machines and getting sodas and bags of chips. Having a healthy body really comes down to what you put into it. I believe it's way more about the nutrition to get the results than it is even the working out. So I just wanted to let you know that it's really going to take intentionality to get the results you're wanting.
I mean, is your body a Corvette or is it a Pinto? Are you putting premium fuel in the vet, or are you putting regular unleaded? A Corvette, you put premium fuel in. A Pinto, some little junky car, you're not putting premium fuel in it. So I've always used that for supplements, the importance of taking great supplements, things like that. Are you a premium body, or are you a regular unleaded? So if you want premium results, you need to be putting premium fuel in, making sure that you have your food prep together, that you're eating healthy, that you're not, I'm just gonna stop off at McDonald's or Taco Bell or whatever. Like, if your goals are to lose fat, get shredded, stop putting regular unleaded in your body, put the premium fuel in there. Make sure that you're eating that, lean chicken breasts and the lean steaks and we'll talk more about that, but you wanna make sure you're putting premium fuel in, not garbage.
And you'll get out of your body what you put into it. And there's a time and season, like, you can't maintain a strict diet your whole lifetime. That's not very fun. But you do want to be wise, as your body is your vehicle for your lifetime.
And depending on how far off you are, that's a great thing. I'm going to add this. It's not on our list, but it goes great with meal prep. When you're on a strict diet plan, if you're always on this strict diet plan, eventually your body, just like in the gym, if you do the same workout day after day, your same routine, you never switch it up, you never shock your body for results. If you're always feeding your body premium fuel and you're always on this strict diet and you never ever cheat, you never go off of it, your body's gonna get used to it and you're gonna see less and less results. So actually you can do your body a favor at times to be like, I'm gonna have a cheat meal, because then your body sees what not so good food is. So then when you go back to the healthy diet, it actually shocks your system for better results. So I actually encourage, just for the sake of not going insane as well, give yourself a cheat meal. Have that dessert, have that cheat meal. Some people do a cheat day, so where they just eat whatever they want that day. So you need to decide how far off you are from your goals if you just do a cheat meal once a week, or you have a cheat day, or maybe you do two cheat meals a week. And there may be holidays that require maybe a little bit more cheating. So, maybe that's when you're just like, I'm gonna allow 2 cheat meals this week, but I'm not gonna go too crazy about it. So you need to decide based on your body what you need to do.
And that's really difficult to think, I am never going to have ice cream ever again. No, that is so not practical. And that's how people gain all this weight back, is once they cave, they go right back to the junk food, and then the weight packs on even more because they go gangbusters overboard. Yeah. So yes, there are alternatives like Halo Top ice cream. It tastes so good, and it has way fewer calories and fat. But yes, I love that. You definitely need to be practical and incorporate your favorite foods here and there. That way you can maintain your healthy lifestyle and not totally deprive yourself.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to go on to our next thing, which is coffee. The subject of coffee. I love my coffee. Coffee is great because it is a natural diuretic. So it will give you, it's a great appetite suppressant, and it will make you, if you're a coffee drinker, you'll notice you pee a lot more when you drink coffee. You'll notice that you have your bowel movements a little more often as well. So that coffee is a great way to give yourself a sense of fullness. Jasmine knows, as my wife, if I just finish my coffee and she'll be like, hey, should I make something to eat? And I'll be like, babe, I just finished my coffee. And she's like, because it works for me. It's
Therefore, you won't eat a meal for several hours.
Yeah. So for some reason, coffee really works for me, and it suppresses my appetite. So I'm not ready to eat after coffee. It takes me a little bit longer. So it works as a natural, or as an appetite suppressant. So, for me, it's probably not a good idea for me to be drinking coffee, because then I don't want to eat, and I'm trying to take down more calories. But for those of you who are trying to take down less calories, take advantage of coffee. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a caffeinated coffee. I've even found that non-caffeinated, decaf coffee, can even suppress my appetite a little bit. So that's just something to think about.
It doesn't work for me though.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Doesn't seem to work for Jasmine, but it will cause you to have those bowel movements and urinate more, which is great when I'm about to shoot a fitness cover or something like that. If I'm cutting my water because I want to have nice, lean muscle mass and vascularity, to have a little bit more coffee, maybe I'm cutting water, but maybe I'm taking a little bit more coffee in, so I use the restroom more in both ways, number 1 and 2, and it really helps me to be lean and vascular. So that's a thought. And on the subject of natural diuretic, asparagus is another great natural diuretic that makes you pee a lot more. So you might consider working that asparagus into your diet. That's also great fiber as well. So that's going to help you to have great bowel movements as well. So, and am I still going? Yes. On the subject of eating good fiber, you want to make sure that you're eating fiber regularly, because 1, it's great for your health. 2, as I talked about with asparagus, great for the bowel movements. So things like broccoli, and you want to be taking broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. Hopefully you like one of those. Those green fibrous carbs are just phenomenal. And if you're not getting those in, you're losing the advantages that you can get from that. I tend to, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later with our diet, but I tend to make sure that I shift to a lot more of those fibrous carbs later in the evening, because they're not high carbs and they're fibrous carbs that are your body's going to use that fairly quickly. So that's just a little bit on that. So I think you're up, babe.
All right.
What do you got for us?
So what I love to do, I've always been a smoothie lover, and James also has. And so what we like to do to jumpstart our day before we go to the gym is we will make smoothies, but we'll add a few more ingredients. It's not like the typical unhealthy smoothie. We will put frozen fruit Then we will add in spinach. Yes, I said spinach because you actually cannot even taste the spinach.
Yeah.
But
we load lots of it in there.
We load a lot of spinach in there. And you can't taste it, but you're still getting that serving of vegetables.
Yeah.
On top of that, we add a scoop of vegetable powder.
Yep.
I don't know the exact term.
Yeah, greens powder, yeah.
Greens powder. So you're getting yet more vegetables in your smoothie. Once again, you can't taste it. And then we'll pour in the orange juice. And so it's so healthy. Our bodies love it. Our bodies crave it.
Yep.
You're getting those important servings of fruit and vegetables in right at the start of your day. And I have really found that to be beneficial in just overall health. I know a lot of people out there are very aware that they don't get enough fruits and vegetables in their diets. And so like we mentioned, that vegetable powder is a game changer. Adding spinach in your smoothies, getting a fruit smoothie in to begin with is a game changer. Some people like to add like ice cream or yogurt, but we wanted to go really healthy. And I love orange juice. I used to do smoothies with water when I was very strict. Those don't taste as good. So I liked my orange juice too. But
I mean, get yourself a Vitamix. I got one at Costco, and that thing will mix up anything. So we love that as long as you're putting enough liquid in there. But
some people use kale also. I haven't done that.
Kale is good. So yeah, I mean, we notice a difference when we don't have our smoothie. There have been times where we've had to head out the door quick, didn't have our smoothies. I notice a difference in my energy. My energy's ramped up when I get all those vitamins in me. It just opens up my mind, my eyes. I'm just like, let's do this. Like, we love having a smoothie before we head to the gym in the morning. And I might do like a bowl of yogurt with some granola in it or something, or maybe oatmeal or something like that, just to get a little energy before the gym. But we absolutely love that. It's a game changer. It's great to add that spinach is just great. Also for your complexion, it can really cause you to glow more. So that's
water does too.
Yeah,
great
water
skin
as well
when you drink a lot of water.
Yeah. So speaking of juice, you might even consider a juice cleanse, where that's all you're having. There's tons of juice cleanses out there that you can research, but it's a great way to just flush your system because you're not taking in other things that your body has to digest. When your body has to digest stuff, it gets stuck in your tracts and things like that. When you do a juice cleanse, you're going to just be using the restroom a lot. It's going to clean out like colon and your tract, your digestive tracts, all that different stuff. So juice cleanse is phenomenal. Great way to shock the system. I don't necessarily recommend doing super intense workouts when you're on a juice cleanse. You're gonna be using the restroom a little bit more, so you wanna maybe ease up on the workouts a little bit. I mean, you can still work out, but just don't get too crazy with your workouts. And then there's also, I have some relatives that tend to do colonics a lot. So colonics are another great way to clean out that digestive tract. There could be stuff that's been lodged in there for 10 plus years. You don't know. So when you're doing cleanses and colonics, that's a great way to really flush everything out, which also can keep you from getting cancer, like colon cancer or like any kind of cancers that can get caught up. I've heard that when stuff gets stuck in that digestive tract, it can cause a lot of different problems. And that's also where bacteria build up and things like that can happen from my understanding. So
I feel like I've heard that fiber helps clear out your system too.
And doing a cleanse, so when you're doing a juice cleanse, there's tons of fiber.
Oh yes, absolutely.
You're getting fiber from your fruits and vegetables and things like that.
But that's even just the perk of having vegetables on a regular basis.
Yep, that vegetables and like she said, adding that powder, that greens powder mix, which is tons of fiber there as well, is great. So my next suggestion while we're on the subject of liquids, cut the soda out. If you're drinking soda, you are drastically hindering the results that you can be getting in the area of fat burning and getting the body that you want. Soda is just one of the worst things you can drink. So I highly suggest cutting the soda out. And yes, I even suggest cutting the diet sodas out because a lot of these fake sugars are just really bad for your system.
Aspartame.
Yeah, it's not good for your system. You think, oh yeah, I don't drink soda. I mean, I drink the diet stuff, so it's no calories, and it's probably worse for you, to be honest with you. It can actually hinder. It can your digestive enzymes, the digestive enzymes in your body, it can actually hinder those, which is not good altogether. So those fake sugars, you might even need to look at some of the fake sugars maybe in your protein powders and things like that, and cut some of that stuff out. So that's just a little bit of advice on that. If you've drank a lot of soda and done a lot with fake sugars, you need to load up on probiotics and digestive enzymes to get your body back on track. So
yeah, it's a very easy fix. One
Yep.
of my brother's coworkers cut out soda, and he dropped so many pounds
right
just
away.
by eliminating it out of his diet right away.
Yeah, it'll work right away.
Right
So,
away.
If you're drinking soda, be happy that's one thing you can do, and you're going to have a drastic before and after right away.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Especially if you're a person that drinks a lot of soda. So, yeah. I think
you just have to train your taste buds to like water.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So next, going along with that, maybe you're not aware of how often you drink soda.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not aware of how often you eat specific foods. This is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Log what you eat for maybe a day. Maybe you need to log what you eat for a week.
Yeah.
And then when you sit down and you look day by day, itemized at every single thing you put into your mouth, and I'm not saying you have to do this for your whole lifetime, but just till you get a handle on your diet, until you get a grasp on things, until you're actually aware at how much food or what poor quality of food you're putting into your mouth. You might not be aware of how often you're snacking or how often you go to that junk food. But when you're faced with that list staring you in the face, you are definitely just put in your place.
Yeah.
You have that accountability factor factored in.
Yep.
And so I would highly recommend logging what you eat for a day, maybe up to a week, just so you have an idea of how much food you're actually putting in your body without even realizing.
Yeah. And there's apps out there for that as well. There's an app called MyFitnessPal, a great app for logging your food. I think Livestrong might have one as well. Is that the Lance Armstrong thing? Sure. Livestrong, I think. But I do know that MyFitnessPal is one, and then I think Livestrong might have one as well.
Don't be crazy and log everything.
But it's great
life.
It's great to have it. And the cool thing is, if you end up getting a diet and training coach or something like that, they can get access to view what you're eating. So if you have a diet coach, they can be like, I see that you, and they can see your diet to see, like, I've done diet coaching before with someone who was a nutritionist, and she really focused on the diet side, where I focused on more the training side. And she would say, I want you to log everything you eat before I even put you on a plan. I want you to log everything you eat for a week, because I want to see how you're eating, so that as I modify things, she could ease them into the modification, but she could see drastically how quickly they're going to get results based on how they're eating now compared to how she would have them eat.
Sure.
So the MyFitnessPal was really great for her to be able to look at, to see what they were eating as they were even logging it. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Going along with that, like with the intentionality aspect side of things, make a grocery list before you go to the store. That way, once again, you're intentional about what you're purchasing, and maybe looking up recipes that you want to make for the week, or looking at what ingredients you're needing to make those healthy snacks for the week.
Yeah.
That way you have all the ingredients that you're needing, but also that you're only purchasing what you in fact want to put into your body.
Yeah.
I know that when you grocery shop, when you are hungry, that is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Also, when you grocery shop and impulse buy and just put things into the cart that look good, that's dangerous.
Yep.
So I do grocery pickup, and that has worked really well, because I'm not putting that cotton candy and ice cream and Milk Duds in my cart.
Yeah.
It's just whatever I placed my order, that's what I'm going home with, and that has worked so well.
Yeah, I love that. There was a thing, and for you parents that might have kids that they like their junk food, this just came to mind. I remember my grandma and grandpa, they had a junk food drawer. They weren't big into junk food. They didn't want to eat junk food. They had a junk food drawer so they wouldn't eat it. Like that was a drawer they never went into. They would look at it. My grandma would look at it before she went to the grocery store, so she would know how to fill it, like what to fill it back up with. And my mom and dad do the same. So my mom does not eat junk food, but she would be tempted with junk food. So there's a drawer that she just doesn't go into until she knows she needs to go grocery shopping. But if it's in the pantry that you're in every day and you have to look at it every day and be tempted by it every day, it's going to cause you to be like, I'll just go ahead and cheat. So that's just another thought that I wanted to add to the list. So I know, Jazz, you wanted to talk a little bit about
you start though.
About cutting carbs. So I, especially when I was more strict with my diet, when I was shooting fitness covers more, I found that it was important, and my diet and training coach taught me this as well back in the day from the World Championship, cutting your carbs early or late afternoon, early evening is a great thing to do. Just get the carbs out of the system, and the carbs that you will have with your evening meal, if you're going to have that evening meal, is your fibrous carbs, as I talked about before. Your broccoli, your asparagus, your Brussels sprouts. Those are great. Fibrous carbs are fine later at night, and plus they aren't, you have to eat a whole lot of that to get any kind of grams in carbs when you're eating fibrous carbs, because they're just a lot lower in their grams. So, that salad a little bit later at night or whatever that may be, shift from those more complex carbs or whatever other carbs you're taking into your fibrous carbs. Cut those other ones, like I said, late afternoon, early evening. That's going to be a game changer for you. And then getting those fibrous carbs in those later meals is huge. So
yes, it definitely is. And this goes along with another, I want to remember to say this. Don't eat after 6 p.m., ladies.
Yeah.
So I will elaborate on that, but please keep me accountable to elaborate.
Yep.
So yes, going along with what he just talked about, cutting the carbs earlier on in the day. When I was preparing for Miss USA, my diet / trainer, he was very strict with me about my meals. So for breakfast, that's when I would have my fruits, because yes, fruits do have carbs. But for breakfast, I would also have my oatmeal. Now for lunch, what happened was that was my opportunity to maybe get my rice or whatever was higher on carbohydrates. For dinner, I did not eat any carbs except for vegetables.
Yep.
That's it. So like for dinner, I would have my protein source. Maybe it was salmon, maybe it was chicken and some vegetables. I did not add carbs for dinner, because I didn't want my body storing those carbs as fat while I was not using those carbs as an energy source.
Yep.
Especially you don't want to load up on carbs before you're getting ready to go to bed, because then your body's just going to store it as fat.
Yeah.
So transitioning into my statement, my trainer said, Jazz, don't eat anything after 6 p.m. I know that sounds crazy, but it's definitely doable. That forces you to eat dinner at an earlier hour. But also it really did help me. Well, obviously I had to have self-discipline with this one. But like I mentioned, you don't want your body storing all this food. If you're eating at 10 at night, that is detrimental. You're going to pack on the weight, because you don't have time for your body to use up that food as an energy source. Instead, your body's just going to store it as fat, because you're just going to be sleeping all night. So when you stop eating at 6 p.m. roughly, that gives you a few more hours of activity for your body to wear off that food that you just ate for dinner as energy source. And by the time you're ready to go to bed, when you're sleeping, your body will be using that stored fat reserve as its energy source. So just a tip there.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And, that's a lot of what I did when I was, training for Worlds, and when I was getting ready for serious fitness magazine covers, wanted to be shredded as possible, or maybe going to Fitness Expo, or I did guest posing in other countries. That's where I got real strict about that high protein and the low fat, low carbs, especially as the evening hours came in. So that's when I was eating that lean chicken breast or egg whites, and then my carb source was my fibrous carbs. So as we've talked about already, and I was not doing any of the other complex carbs. So, and then that takes me into the next
But real
thing.
quick, obviously, midnight snacking does not fall into any of this.
Yeah. That was taking me into the next thing, which is on snacking. So I always had meat cooked, like ready to go because I meal prepped. So if it got later at night and I didn't want to take in those carbs because I still wanted to stay lean, so I didn't want to take in those carbs late at night, I had chicken breast cut into small squares. I could snack on that if I wanted. That was okay because that's lean protein. That's not fat. That's not carbs. So I had that. I could also do like carrots and celery is a good snack as well. That's super lean. I mean, they say just eating celery, you're burning more calories eating it than it actually is.
I like to add cheese whiz to celery.
Oh, geez, I don't know if that works well, but.
But it's a great way to transition.
Yeah.
If you don't eat celery at all,
Yeah.
to just grab celery as a snack is going to be really hard.
Yeah.
So you could always start with cheese whiz on it, or you could start with peanut butter, and then eventually you can wean off of it.
There you go.
He's laughing, but that really did help me start to like celery.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because I just can't eat raw celery. If you're used to eating potato chips,
Yeah.
that's a big shift.
Yeah, and with that late night snacking, crank up the water a little bit if you have to. I mean, I know you don't want to go to use the restroom in the middle of the night, but as you're getting hungry later at night, especially you ladies that are, being told not to eat after 6 perhaps, drink more liquids, drink more water. That's going to be helpful. Decaf coffee, even as I talked about before, later at night, that still works for me as an appetite suppressant. So,
yeah, the big thing with all of this, the biggest tip that has helped me throughout my life with nutrition when I'm actually focused on it is keeping my metabolism up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would rather eat 5 small meals a day than 3 large meals a day.
Yep.
Meaning the more often you feed your body something, the more it will be like, oh, she's feeding me food. I don't have to go into starvation mode.
Yep.
Or I don't have to save all my reserves to be used later on because she's continually giving me food that I can use as energy. Yep. So my mom was she was big into weightlifting growing up, and so she learned all this. So luckily I learned all this growing up, and she always had egg whites in our fridge,
mm-hmm.
and she would always carry almonds in her car. That way, as soon as she got done working out at the gym, she had something to snack on right away.
Yeah.
Just to keep that metabolism up. Now, I know this is going to go along with my cheese whiz here, but there are people out there that have legit sweet tooths where they need something sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would recommend is instead of going to that ice cream, I would try to find something that will last you longer. Mm-hmm. So meaning, I even would suggest like Jolly Ranchers or Suckers, something that you can suck on that will last you because they don't have as many calories as a big bowl of ice cream would.
Yeah.
It will last you longer, maybe the same amount, but definitely longer, I would think, than a bowl of ice cream. Additionally, you could do like the protein popcorn from Icon Meals like I talked about. That is so good. Mm-hmm. James suggested maybe even like the frozen popsicles, like ices.
Yeah.
Those can curb a sweet tooth just for the time being if you're like, you really want something. Or like Jell-O you mentioned too.
Yeah. Yep.
So I did want to throw those out. Not that those are stellar pieces of advice for nutrition, but it's just like if you need something sweet or are craving something sweet and maybe you just want a cheat day where you get some sugar, those would be great options instead of a candy bar that's gone in 2 minutes and full of fat and carbs.
Yeah, and especially as you're transitioning into a diet, to ease into things is not a terrible thing. Like, it makes it a lot less difficult to just go super strict. You're shifting into this diet, so it's like, well, I'll allow this for now, but I will cut this out, like she said. Yep. So then my last piece of advice for today's video is take supplements. And so I'm not going to elaborate on this. I just want to encourage you to make sure you're taking a good,
vitamins, right?
That's what I was getting ready to say, to take good vitamins and omegas. Omega-3, 6, and 9 is really good for your heart health and for your brain function. So those are healthy fats. You can get those in a pill, healthy fats right there. So omega-3, 6, and 9, total omegas, phenomenal. So, and getting on some good vitamins. Yes, we're getting vitamins when we're making our smoothies, but Also, get some good vitamins. I mean, I'll talk more detail about those in another video. When the next video will probably be on supplementation, or actually it might be fitness tips, but we'll see. But supplementation, keep an eye out for that video. It'll come up this next Wednesday or the following Wednesday, where I'm going to be talking about the importance of things like branched chain amino acids and what do they do and why do I take them. I want to talk about creatine, what it does, why you should take it. The same with your protein powders, with your glutamine, things like that. I'm going to talk a lot of detail on those and even maybe suggest some vitamins for you. So yeah, I think that's about it. So we thank you all for joining us today. This was probably a lot longer than I expected, but that's okay.
These are a lot of the frequently asked questions though.
Yeah. So we don't just film videos on nutrition or on health and fitness. So I want to encourage you to go to jamesandjazz.com, click on that videos tab. It'll scroll you down to 3 different sections of videos. Our first section is spiritual videos. We've done a lot of topical videos on spirituality, and we've also, right now, we're doing Bible study with us. We've finished the whole book of James. We do a chapter per post, and now we're in the middle of John, or actually toward the end of the book of John. So think you'll enjoy those. You can check those out. And then we also have our second tab under videos is physically fit videos, which we're going to start doing some more of these videos where we're just sitting and relaxing, talking about, nutrition or fitness tips and supplementation. But we've also done full-length videos using dumbbells to work out, body part specific videos or workouts, resistance bands in the same way. Did a little bit with kettlebells. We do cardio in place, so help you to burn some fat, get a healthy heart. And then we've also done instructional videos with all those different pieces of equipment where we just show you the exercises and then you go and do them on your own, take some notes, do them on your own. And then our third tab is life and relationship videos. We talk a little bit about life, what's going on in our lives, and also relationship talk to help you to have healthy relationships. Very important section as well. So you can learn a lot about us in that life and relationship section, and we give you advice based off of learned experience. So beyond that, we do have our social media icons on our website, the top and the bottom of our homepage. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Be sure to follow us and like us. And then we have YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube.
Yeah, and if you scroll to the bottom of our website, jamesandjazz.com, you can subscribe to our email list. That way you can be in the know when any exciting news pops up. Right next to that is how you can book us to speak, whether it's for a conference or a school or a church. Just give us all that information and we will get back to you. Additionally, at the top of our website, jamesandjazz.com, there is a tab that says donate. So obviously, if you'd like to partner with our ministry in prayer, thank you so much. Your generous donations have purchased us sound and lighting and dumbbells. So thank you, because we want to give you quality material and we want to keep bringing these videos to you for free. Yeah. So additionally, if you'd like to partner with our ministry financially, we would be so grateful. And so on that donate tab, there is so much information regarding how you can donate via PayPal, Venmo, or Patreon. And so the last thing I want to briefly touch on is the new tab on our website that says courses. So for all of my Christian ladies out there that want some in-depth, self-paced online courses in regards to relationships, that is for you. So check out that courses tab, and I believe that's all.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. Look forward to seeing you for the next Workout Wednesday, or you can check out some of our old stuff, or Spiritual Monday videos, or Life and Relationship video bonus Fridays. So look forward to seeing you at any of those, and look forward to seeing your comments on what you thought of today's video. Give us some of your favorite health, diet, nutrition tips. We'd love to see those in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to share it on your social media or share the link with your friends via text. We'd be blessed by that as well. Take her easy and make it a great week.